Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm back to break down this 8-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings. Before we get into it, if you do enjoy the content at any point in this video, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, that would be greatly appreciated. Hopefully you played some John Wall last night, my lock of the night, hitting again with that fire next to his name at the end of the night on DK, which is the goal every single time. If you're new to the channel, make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video where I will give you my lock of the night. Sometimes it's going to be guys in the upper range, sometimes the mid-tier, sometimes the lower tier. But the guy that I am most confident that I want to lock into all of my lineups. And with that being said, let's go ahead and start breaking down this slate today. First game on the slate, we got New Orleans taking on Cleveland. This game right now comes in with a 226.5 over-under with a 7-point spread in favor of the New Orleans Pelicans. So expected to be a fairly decent pace game for a Cleveland game and expected to stay close. So could have some surprisingly decent interest in some of these Cleveland guys, most notably Colin Sexton, Darius Garland. At their respective price tags, these guys are the ones that are getting the most usage, the most on-ball usage as well as opportunity. And I do think that Kevin Love is an interesting option as well at 6'5". Continues to see his minutes somewhat limited, but we know what Kevin Love's capable of in a game that's up-tempo. If he's playing, mid-20 minutes or so, he can definitely get you there in a hurry. Put up 40 DraftKings points in only 23 minutes just a couple games ago. That's what he's capable of. But Darius Garland, Colin Sexton have a lot of interest in tonight. And on the New Orleans side, there is no Lonzo Ball, there is no Josh Hart, there is no Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So that immediately makes me have a lot of interest in guys like Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, and Eric Bledsoe. All three are going to be relied on very heavily. Zion Williamson going absolutely crazy last time out, putting up 68 DraftKings points. So, really showing what he's capable of as far as upside is concerned. And then same thing's going to apply for Brandon Ingram, like him as well. And Eric Bledsoe, like I said, really locking in on those guys. Think they're going to have a lot of usage. A lot of times the ball's going to be in their hands and a lot of upside to go around. And then you got Steven Adams and James Johnson. Not quite as interested in them, to be honest. Decent plays, but then on the Cleveland side, I do like Hartenstein a lot at 5'2". He continues to play, around mid-20 minutes, and this guy's production on a permanent basis is very impressive. He's got a 39, 33, and 44 DraftKings points the last 3 times out. And he gets a great matchup taking on this New Orleans squad where the game should be up-paced. So I think Hartenstein's a great play at 5'2". Milwaukee taking on Orlando. This game right now comes in with a 224 over-under with a 9-point spread in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks. We do have quite a bit of injury news to diagnose here. Pretty much the whole Milwaukee Bucks team is listed as questionable. So Giannis' latest update is he's doubtful. As far as Drew Holiday, latest update is he's probable. I expect him to be go. Chris Middleton is listed as probable as well. Expect him to be good to go. Dante DiVincenzo listed as probable. And lastly, Brook Lopez also listed as probable. So you're looking at pretty much a full Milwaukee team outside of Giannis. So Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton at 8'2" and 8K, like both of them a lot with there being no Giannis Antetokounmpo. They always get a big bump in usage. And then Dante DiVincenzo, I have no issue with playing him either. I think the game's going to stay a lot closer than it typically would if Giannis was in, of course. And then I do think there's some great run-back options on the Orlando side, most notably Terrence Ross, Wendell Carter Jr. Those two guys are really going to be producing at high rates now with this whole Orlando team kind of shipped off. And then also Michael Carter-Williams, but Cole Anthony is back. It's a little harder to have interest in him. I mean, Terrence Ross is definitely the number one guy. We got Mo Bamba listed as questionable right now. And another thing that I really want to keep my eye on is RJ Hampton's minutes. When this guy gets an opportunity, he really can put up some DK points. Last time out, a little bit limited with 19 minutes, so I think with this team getting more bodies back, he might be getting less minutes in the rotation. So overall, really looking to run it back with Terrence Ross, the number one option. You can play Wendell Carter Jr., Michael Carter Williams, Cole Anthony, all those guys are kind of blended together. I tend to think I just want to run it back with Terrence Ross, and then maybe one of those other guys on the Orlando side as well. San Antonio taking on Dallas. This game comes in right now with a 220.5 over-under, 6-point spread in favor of the Dallas Mavericks. So expect to stay close. Expect it to be somewhat of a decent pace game. Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis both in on the Dallas side, which I think is going to somewhat limit their usage. And then on the San Antonio side, getting a lot of the guys back that were previously hurt. A little bit scared to go to this game just because of how deep these rotations are going to be. If I'm playing guys in this game, I want to really target price tags. So specifically, I think Derek White at 6'3" is underpriced. DeJounte Murray at 7'4". I have no issues with going to these two guys. Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis scare me a little bit at their price tags. DeMar DeRozan at 7'8" is a little too priced up for my liking. Like, can he get you there? Of course. He just put up 47 DraftKings points. And he's definitely a decent play. I don't know. I say he's priced up. He is a pretty good play at that price tag. It's not like we're paying too much for him. He was priced at 8'2". Now he's down to 7'8". I just tend to lean like towards Derek White on a per dollar basis. Just the savings there, I think he can get you there more. But DeMar DeRozan always has the upside in tournaments. So, and not to mention, this is a great matchup for both of these teams. Both these teams have been pretty lackluster defensively. So, and then Tim Hardaway Jr. at 5'3", I think is an intriguing option on the Dallas side as well. And that's where things kind of run out for me. So just pick a couple guys in that game. I wouldn't go too crazy. Really lock in on who's going to get the max upside game per lineup. If you're making multiple lineups, you know, sprinkle in maybe DeJounte Murray in one, DeMar DeRozan in one, etc. Toronto taking on New York. Next game on the slate, we got a 213.5 over-under with a 1.5 point spread in favor of New York. Expected to be very slow-paced, which is going to limit my interest a little bit. Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet both listed as questionable. As far as the latest update, nothing really too convincing as far as the latest update is concerned. If Lowry comes back, he's going to be in a minutes limit. VanVleet is listed as questionable. If those guys are both out, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, Chris Boucher, all these guys are going to have a lot of interest in them, even though it is a slower paced game. Going to be relied on very heavily to be putting up some buckets, as well as Gary Trent Jr. and Flynn. Malachi Flynn really putting up some good DK points as well in a lot of minutes. So have interest in all these guys if those guards continue to be out. And on the New York side, I'm not really looking to get cute. It's RJ Barrett, it's Julius Randle, and those are really the only guys I'm looking to play on the New York Knicks side. They're the ones that have the most solidified minutes. And whether I really want to play them or not is a whole other question. I mean, they can definitely get you there depending upon the value that opens up on the slate. No issue going there. It's just a matter of if there's going to be better options in faster up-tempo games. Indiana taking on Memphis. This game right now comes in with a 231.5 over-under with a 2.5 point spread in favor of the Memphis Grizzlies. So this one's expected to move very fast. Love to see it. And who we're going to be looking to in this one, Domantas Sabonis, Jonas Valanciunas at the top here. Both great options on the glass, really high upside, and definitely like both of them for sure. So that's where you want to kind of start in this one. Karis LeVert, John Morant, both have a bunch of upside as well. And then you also have Malcolm Brogdon on the Indiana side. I would be playing probably only one of these guys in my lineups per lineup. If I'm playing multiple lineups in tournaments, either play Karis LeVert or Malcolm Brogdon. John Morant, you can throw in with Jonas Valanciunas, no issues at all because they're not both guards, not going to interfere with each other. Kyle Anderson, Dylan Brooks going to be the ones I'm looking to on the Memphis side as well. Those guys are the ones that are really going to be producing at the highest rate outside of the top two guys that we talked about, and they're getting a lot of minutes, so like both of those guys in this particular game. And then on the Indiana side, it kind of fades out pretty quickly for me, like Justin Holiday, all these guys down here at like 4K, more defensive weapons, not really going to grade out all that well from a fantasy aspect. And I would really be focusing on the three guys that we mentioned up top. Miles Turner is listed as questionable in this one. And it looks like they're saying he will not play. So that just makes me like Domantas Sabonis even more. Really like him. And Malcolm Brogdon and Karis LeVert, like I said, really lock in on those three guys. And then on the Memphis side, really lock in on Jonas Valanciunas, John Morant, Kyle Anderson, and Dylan Brooks. Chicago taking on Minnesota. We got another very fast-paced game here. A 231.5 over-under. Same over-under with a 4.5 point spread in favor of Chicago. This is going to be a great fantasy environment, and I'm really excited to be playing some guys from this game as well. Karl-Anthony Towns, Nikola Vucevic at the top, both centers. Really going to be great plays. Cat is priced way up to 10.8, which is a little concerning to me when I think that Nikola Vucevic has the same amount of upside as him at 9.1. I'm going to lean Nikola Vucevic if I'm only playing one of these guys for sure. Zach LaVine, Anthony Edwards, both in great spots in this game. Love both of these guys playing a ton of minutes. Zach LaVine really showing some upside lately, and he gets a revenge game taking on his former team here, so I really like Zach LaVine at 8.6. Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell. Going to continue to really like these guys. D'Angelo Russell, we're hoping his minutes continue to climb. Last time he saw 29 minutes, most he's seen since returning from that injury, 24, 24, and 29. So I'm going to like him. I think he could get up to like mid-30s in this one, and that's going to make him a very good play at his price tag. And yeah, really can focus on those top-range guys and really like them in this game. Once you get down past them, it's a little bit dicey as far as these rotation players, but those top guys in this game, really, really liking them in this game environment. Detroit taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. There is no Kawhi Leonard in this one, which is going to make Paul George a tremendous play at 8.4. Taking on this Detroit team, which does not scare me at all defensively. This game comes in with a 217.5 over-under with a 12.5 point spread in favor of the Los Angeles Clippers. So Clippers expected to run away with this one pretty easily, but Paul George at 8-4, great play for sure. Anytime there's no Kawhi Leonard, going to like him a lot. And then with there being no Kawhi Leonard, there's also going to be a bump up to guys like Reggie Jackson, Zubac. DeMarcus Cousins has joined the squad, so it's a little bit concerning there. Marcus Morris Sr. should get some more minutes at 4-8. All of the above. Have no issue with you filing these guys in your lineups. And DeMarcus Cousins is not really playing a lot of minutes in the rotation, so I'm not too concerned about him affecting these other guys, to be honest. Terrence Mann at 4-9 is an intriguing play as well, playing 36 minutes last time out, putting up 40 DraftKings points. All of these guys that have been consistently in the rotation, with there being no Kawhi Leonard. Then on the Detroit side, things are a little bit sketchy for me. I'm not really trying to play too many people on this side. I mean, I think if they keep the game close, maybe a guy like Sadiq Bey is the one that has the big game. He's consistently playing like 30 minutes a game. He'd probably be the first one I'm willing to throw in my lineups. And maybe an Isaiah Stewart at 4-8 because he can produce at a very high rate, and he's seen some more minutes in some games recently. But overall, I think the Detroit side is just going to be really spread thin, and if the game stays close, it's going to be like everyone having a very mediocre game and somehow keeping this game close. But if I'm playing one guy, it'd be Sadiq Bey on the Detroit side. Miami taking on Portland last game on the slate. This game comes in with a 221.5 over-under with a half-point spread in favor of the Portland Trailblazers. And it's going to be a very competitive game. As far as if we have any really interest in from a fantasy aspect, I'm going to have a lot more interest in, well, to be honest with you, there's no Victor Oladipo now, so I was going to say I'm going to have a lot more interest in the Portland side, but with there being no Oladipo, Tyler Hero listed as questionable. That could help actually free up some more Jimmy Butler usage that was being taken away from him for a little bit there. So I do think that he's an intriguing play at 9K. This game should stay close. Not worried about the Portland side defensively. Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum are going to be the ones that keep the game close on the other side. So you could go ahead and stack this game up, if you'd like. I would prefer CJ McCollum. He's probably my favorite play of the bunch based upon his price tag and upside. Then you got Robert Covington, Enes Kanter, Norman Powell that you can be playing as well. Enes Kanter having some really big games recently. Yusuf Nurkic is back though. I mean, Enes Kanter just put up a 30-rebound game, which is just ridiculous. Put up 70 DraftKings points. But I think that with Nurkic back, that could limit his upside, and we may not be seeing that type of performance from him often with Nurkic being back. So with all that being said, that's my overall breakdown of this 8-game slate. Before I let you guys go, I got to give you my lock of the night. Let's get into it. And my lock of the night tonight is going to be Zach LaVine at this 8.6 price tag. I still don't think he's priced up enough to the role that we've been seeing him play. Playing a ton of minutes, getting up there in the high 30s every single time out, putting up 40, 57, and 69 DraftKings points the last 3 times out, and he gets to take on his former team in the Minnesota Timberwolves. A little bit of a revenge narrative. Love Zach LaVine in this spot when you're factoring all this stuff. Still think he's underpriced, especially with this game environment. Think he's going to have a big game, and he is my lock of the night. So there you have it, guys. Zach LaVine. Get him in your lineups, and that is all for me in this one. If you did enjoy the content, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. That would be greatly appreciated. And then don't forget to check out my KJK DFS NBA packages link below in the description. I wish you guys all the best of luck tonight, and we will see you in the next one.